Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, March 9, 2026, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen. That's a Dutch word for my creative adventures from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English. They are different, so you can watch them both if you want to. I add subtitles everywhere. If you miss subtitles in a specific language, please let me know and I will check if I can add them afterwards. Okay. I have quite some small things to share today. I have some finished objects too, actually, but I don't have them with me anymore. Both were gifts. Let me start with the cutest pink socks for my little niece. I will insert a picture. This lovely yarn, which is dyed by a Dutch dyer. It was gifted to me. I wanted to buy it at a knitting event, but she wanted to give it to me, so that was very generous of her. Made by Eve. She dyed this most beautiful color, which is called ranonkel. And normally this is not really my go-to, but it made me very happy. I learned earlier this year, or I actually think last year, that pink is the color of self-love. So if you need some self-love, knit a pink item. Whatever, a sweater, a cardigan, or a pair of toddler socks. Yeah, so really so much fun. I knitted the socks. The pattern was called Basic Socks for Kids, I think, by LettKnit from Bente, Skeide, a Norwegian knitting designer, and I love the pattern. The fit was great. I don't have any pictures of it with the socks on her feet, but the fit was really great. And I will knit her a scarf with the leftover. I think a Sophie scarf, a bigger one. But it will be for next winter, so we will have some time for it. Yeah. The other little finished object was my second Sophie scarf. I casted on another pink one immediately with a little leftover of Bio Balance. I don't know the brand. Bio Balance. I don't know. I knitted a baby sweater for my little niece 5 years ago. It is a mix of cotton and merino yarn. And I just had this tiny little leftover, which I didn't weigh. I looked and I thought, I can make a Sophie scarf with it. No, you can't, Sarah. It was not enough. So it has, I think you call it a dip dye, dip dye effect. I added some brown because I didn't weigh while I was knitting. Of course, if I would have done it, there was not a problem. But actually, it was a gift for my mom for her birthday, and she really loved the brown tip at the end. So I think it was my Sarah sauce. So yeah, she was very happy with it. My mother already knitted one for herself. I couldn't remember. But she was very happy, and we were on a boat yesterday to celebrate her birthday, and she immediately wrapped it around her neck and was really happy with it. I didn't have time to block it. It was just a quick knit, and yeah. So now I knitted 2 Sophie scarves and I own not one of them, and that's actually my rule. Don't give something away before you own it yourself. Because there is a risk that you get bored of knitting something or crocheting something and you will never have one yourself. Now in this case, I thought I wouldn't need a Sophie scarf myself, but I must confess that I need one as well. With the pink one of my mom, I tried to wrap it around my head, and it was also the perfect headband and a little scarf, so I will cast on one in brown. This week? No, I have a busy week, next week. Yeah. So the Sophie scarf story is not ended yet. I understand everyone right now with all the Sophie scarves. Yeah. And I have something else. Oh no, let me start with what I'm wearing, because it has to do with each other, as you probably can see. I am wearing my Audrey in Unst vest. It's a pattern by Gudrun Johnston, and I made this one in September last year in a beautiful color which is called Syrah. It's a red grape. It's hand dyed by a Dutch dyer, a Dutch yarn shop owner who is called Wolverhalen, or her company is called Wolverhalen. And yeah, I really love it. It's Mesham, a Mesham BFL mix. And when I knitted it, I thought it was too oversized, but I actually love the drape and the look of it. And also the neckline and the lace detail. It's very cute. I love it. So very happy with that one. Very happy with this one. We will come back to you later. I also made a skirt. Yeah, I had some checked fabric. My challenge this time was knit the, no, not knit, sew the checks straight. Oh, there's some lunch left over on my skirt. I'm sorry for that. I managed to check them straight. I need to add buttons. The only thing is that I needed to cut the fabric not exactly according to pattern, and that influenced my pockets. So this one is a little bit on the tight side. This one is okay. That's the only thing. The other thing is that I added a future designer detail, which was not meant to be. I cut it accidentally 2 front pieces. So here is also room for pockets. It needed to be straight. So now I have this line on my hip on both sides, and I thought, okay, it's also always a challenge to turn your clumsiness into your superpower. Now I have a very original skirt with a nice detail at the back. But you won't notice because of the checks. They are straight. Yeah. I mixed up all the patterns. I did a little bit of the songbird skirt, a little bit of the estuary skirt, a little bit of a skirt I made up myself, the width of the fabric. So I mixed and matched, and it made me very happy, and now I have a perfect fitting skirt. The only thing is the fabric is really, how do you call it? It's 120 gram fabric, I know now, and you can see through it pretty good. So that's not really what you want for a skirt, but I wear it with tights or a legging, or even always with a biker short, so I don't think it's really a problem. We shall see in summer how it will work out. But I'm very happy because I can mix and match a lot of new combinations with my hand knitted items and my new checked skirt. Okay, but I almost finished my second Audrey in Unst. Not complete because it doesn't have buttons yet, and I want to share my thoughts about it because I don't know yet. I don't know what to think about it. Let me grab the yarn as well. This is my second Audrey in Unst. It's a very special color combination. It is Dundaga yarn. I think it's Latvian yarn, but I don't know if I say it correct. And it's rustic yarn with a very nice color change. And I must confess, I am not a purple lover, but yeah, this combination, it's a little bit of green, pink and purple. I really love it. So I remembered, I love the Audrey in Unst, but I remembered that the knitting the body, it's a bottom-up pattern, was quite boring. It's in a fingering weight, casting on a lot of stitches, and then just knit back and forth until you are at the armholes for splitting for the front and back, and it was pretty boring. So when I went to Knitfest in November 2025, I had a lot of train knitting and social knitting time, and I didn't have the perfect project on my needles yet. Of course, you never have the perfect, always a reason to cast on something new. And I thought, let's cast on this one, because it's only knitting back and forth. I only wanted to bring one project with me, And that was a good decision because I made quite some progress and I wasn't bored at all because of the colors and all the things that were happening, all the nice lovely people. So yeah, that was quite fun. Later, when I needed to split for the sleeves, I realized that the change of colors would be influenced by that, and I didn't like that idea because then after changing for the splitting the body parts, you knit the front, so this would be one color, and then you knit the other front or the back, I don't know in which order, but because you knit shorter rows, the colors would be totally different than the body part, and I didn't want that, so I added stick stitches only for the sleeves. So I could knit back and forth the same way, and the colors would be this way. And I really loved how it turned out. I am really happy with that. Then I needed to cut the sticks. I filmed it in my Dutch episode of today. So if you are interested in that, please check that one. I did a crochet reinforcement because I didn't want too much bulk under my arms. Normally I always reinforce with my sewing machine, and I really love to knit a facing for the stick, for the rough stick ends. I really love the look of that at the inside of my cardigan, but not at this part because, yeah, you won't see it anyway. I reinforced it with a crochet stitch and with a very loose knit sewing stitch I sewed this down so it would stay in place. Because I was knitting with a color changing yarn, the ribbing is also color changing. I don't know if I really like that. I was thinking I also have the yarn in a dark brown shade, and later I thought, wouldn't it be better to do all the ribbing dark brown? I think I would love that. On the other side, it is okay as it is. I was doubting about that. The yarn was really, after I blocked it, it really fluffed up. Do you say it like that? So it was really nice, but there are a few things. Let me put it on. I don't have buttons yet because I don't have those tiny buttons. I really want tiny buttons. These ones are pretty big. So I had 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 dancing buttons. I cannot sew them straight. I did my best, believe me, but I'm not that person. So these are quite big, so I wanted a little bit smaller buttons. And when I tried it on the first time, I was actually a little bit disappointed. Oh, I need to stand. One moment, please. We need to change the setting. Okay, I think... Yeah, is it okay in the background? I think this is better because I can take a little distance and you can see all the cardigan. So when I put it on the first time, I thought, it still has a little bit drape. It is shorter. It is way shorter than my first one. And I thought that I did the same length. But I can't remember if I checked. I think I did, but so I don't know if something happened during the blocking process, but it's okay. It's a little bit on the short side, but it's okay. And I also was a little bit disappointed by the shoulders because the shoulders are quite wide. I love the neckline. The shoulders are quite wide and I love them. I prefer them to be a little bit more narrow, but I couldn't remember my other Audrey in Unst, and I didn't do anything different. So let me show you. This looks different, it feels different, but it is the same. I measured, it is the same shoulder length, but I think it's the drape of the fabric. This fabric is way more drapey than this one. This is more rustic, this is more soft, this is knitted a little bit looser, this one is a little bit tighter. So I think that's the difference. So when I finished it last Thursday, I guess, or Wednesday, I cannot remember exactly, I was a little bit disappointed and I thought, okay, oh, this is inside out. It's also nice, but it's not the way it's meant to be. Because I thought it is okay, but it's not exactly how I want it to be. And that's always a little bit of a risky difference. Things can be okay, but I want them exactly how I want it to be. So yeah, it is not that I don't like it. So I don't know. I still don't know. A part of me wants to buy buttons, sew buttons and mark it as a finished object. But there's also a part of me that wants more narrow shoulders. But then this way, I think I like it more this way. And I could stick again, cut away some fabric and knit new ribbing. But I don't know. I also was thinking about replacing all the ribbing for brown, but I don't think I want to do that anymore. It's mainly the shoulders, I guess. But on the other side, maybe it's okay. Yesterday I was wearing this one. And in the beginning I also was really bothered by the shoulders because they were quite wide. But now, yesterday I thought, oh, it's actually pretty good. It's actually okay. So maybe I need to give it a chance. My mirror is right there. Also, when I only would have a button on top, there is one option of the pattern with I-cord ribbing, I-cord borders. I love the ribbed look, but now I thought maybe I-cord and a little tie would have been better, but then the bottom is ribbing, and I don't know. I don't know. Did I already say I don't know? So what I think is I just need to wait because yeah, maybe I can add the buttons. I already knitted the buttonholes. Maybe I can add the buttons and check the look. Maybe I can start wearing it. I have a black hinterland dress. I think it will look lovely on the black hinterland dress, and maybe the shoulders are not bothering me at all. So the point is, do I want to spend a lot of time fixing this one, making it exactly as I want it to be, or do I just cast on another one? I don't have this color anymore, but I do think I have this color. This is also a Dundaga, and I even love this colorway more. It's more my natural preference, my daily preference. This is a little bit exciting, and that's okay. I will wear this color with love too, and it will make me happy. But this is more my go-to. So, what I think, before we will jump into this project, what I think is that I start wearing it. Maybe I can knit another one because I love the neckline. The neckline is really... Oh, did I already mention that I skipped the lace? You probably noticed it already. I skipped the lace because I really prefer that one thing is the eye catcher. I talked about it before. The lace, I love the lace. It's the eye catcher of the pattern, but in this one I wanted to be the colors, the eye catcher, and also adding lace. It's too much for me because I'm also wearing it on a checked fabric, and I have my socks and I have my headbands, and I cut my bangs a little bit on the short side. So there's already a lot going on, my jewelry, so yeah, I think it's enough. Yeah, so I will keep you updated. I think I just will cast on another one in the near future, check if I can make the shoulders a little bit narrow, and then decide what to do with this one. Yeah, I think I will do it that way. I will do it that way. Next project. This is finally a HeartJumping project. This is my traveler shawl. It's a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and I wanted to knit this in the Dundaga yarn. I bought it last year in March at a beautiful shop in the Netherlands, Mo and More, and I love this shawl. I don't know, I think I cast it on in May, I can't remember. And then I noticed I don't like to work with rustic yarn when it's too warm outside. So in summer it hibernated. That sounds a little bit weird, but it was what it was doing. And then I picked it up. But I couldn't, the pattern is very, very easy. But I didn't get the rhythm of it. So I needed a lot of administration, mark every row I knitted, to keep track, because I couldn't read my knitting work. I don't know if you understand that. When you start a new project and there is something special involved, lace, cables or something else, in the beginning you need your pattern very much, I do, and check every row, write it down, mark it down to keep track, and suddenly it clicks and you know it and you don't need the pattern at all anymore. And I couldn't understand why it was not happening with this one, because it was so easy. It was knitting and purling rows alternated in a specific rhythm. And also the increases, I was reading it wrong. I read a comment under my Dutch episode, which was very helpful. And she was telling me something Andrea Mowry told in her podcast, that it was alternating 2 purl rows and 3 knit rows. But to create that at the right side of your work, you have sometimes you need to purl, sometimes you have to knit, and you alternate that in a not in a rhythmic way, in a rhythmic way of 10 rows. So that is a little bit too much for me. And I already noticed it, but it didn't click. And after reading her comment, I checked it again and I realized I also made a mistake, not in my crochet work, but in my knitting work, but in the understanding work. I was reading the increases wrong. I did knit them right, but I was understanding them wrong. So don't ask me how I did to manage to knit it right. And when I read it again, and suddenly I thought, oh, this is how it must be knit. And now I'm at the second triangle. You knit the first triangle and then you bind it off with an I-cord edge, and then you pick up the stitches again. In the I-cord it will be a spine. I really love the look of it. This is not blocked yet, but here this is the right side and this is the wrong side. I really love those knitting details. And now it is easy. I don't have to mark every row anymore. I have a stitch marker and I understand what my stitch marker is telling me. I understand in which row I am now. So I still need to check the pattern. I check my... because again, now I need to decrease, but it's also not very rhythmic. Sometimes it's every second row, then it's every fourth and second, and it's... So I need the administration, but the rows are getting shorter and shorter, and it's feeling as if I'm going downhill. That's always so interesting in a knitting project. You can, especially with bigger projects, I knit this shawl. It's actually for a sport weight yarn, I guess, but I knit it on in a light fingering weight yarn. The shawl is coming in 2 sizes. I picked the biggest one. I thought then it will be okay for me, I think, and as far as I can see, it will be okay. And for quite a long time it was feeling as if I was climbing the mountain on my bike, I guess. Very hard working, and then you are on top of the mountain and you will go downhill and it goes so easy. End is near and everything is working fine and you can rest a bit. It's as if the shawl is knitting itself right now. So I really love all those different phases in a knitting project, but this is one of my favorites. So we will finish it pretty soon, I guess, and then I think I need to store it for autumn because it will be too warm for this kind of yarn. I'm not sure. Maybe we have the chilly camping mornings and nights, so maybe I can wear it. I casted on another project because of that. This is Alafoss Lopi. It's the bulky weight Icelandic yarn, rustic Icelandic yarn, and I casted on another Andrea Mowry pattern. This is the Oxbow cardigan. I bought this pattern many years ago. It is in my Ravelry library. Yeah, I think it was one of the first patterns I bought, but I never knitted it, and now it was the time. I really love that. I'm reorganizing my patterns. I want them physically in my house, so I'm printing. I'm downloading them and I'm ordering them on my laptop, and then I want to print them and add them to some I don't know how you call it in English. I will tell more about it when I finish that. But I suddenly realized, oh no, when I don't have internet or my laptop is broke, I don't have access to my patterns. And I always print my patterns because I don't want to work with a screen all the time, and I try to not to write on them so I can reuse them if I want to. But it was time to organize. I just have a big pile of those paper patterns and there's not a system in it, and it's very time consuming to search for things. And so I was going to all my patterns that I own right now, and I feel a rich woman at the moment with all the patterns and all the yarn. So yeah, I finished the board, that's Dutch. I finished the ribbing, and now the fun part will be, it's a bottom-up pattern. It's not really my favorite, especially, I think it's a raglan because I need to knit the sleeves first. I don't really love that construction, but I also didn't felt motivated to check if I could do it the other way around, and I thought, okay, let's go for it. Yeah, sometimes things I think I don't love surprise me and become my favorite, so we will know. We shall see. Another project I really want to finish before winter really ends is this one. This is my Stakit cardigan. It is originally a sweater. It's a pattern by Lerke from FiberTales, and I'm making it into a cardigan. So you can see some messy stripes right here. That's where my stick will be. I was doubting about the sleeve. I did some modifications. Lerke describes in her pattern very helpful how you can adjust the amount of increases to make the ease on the body a little bit less. And she tells you in the pattern, don't go down one size because the sleeves might be too narrow, but do this and this and this. So I did do that, but a little bit more. So I had no idea how it would turn out. And now I can fit it because it's off the needles, and my sleeve was a little bit oversized. I love narrow sleeves, but I didn't know if it would match with the body or not. So normally I always knit my sleeves immediately, but now I thought, okay, let's see how the body will be, and then decide if this sleeve is okay and this one can be knit, or if this sleeve is too wide. So I can show you. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. I think you can. It is a little bit of the oversized look. I know now. So it will be an outdoor cardigan as a jacket, or a cardigan I will wear over other things because I made it quite long. I was doubting about that. I think after this stripe I needed to decide if I added ribbing or another 2 stripes. So I decided to add another 2 stripes, but I think only adding ribbing would have been enough. For my personal preferences, then it would be this way. Oh, now I see it. I start doubting again. I think I'm in my hormonal time that I don't need to make... It's better to not make decisions because I'm doubting about everything. I measured with one of my other cardigans and I thought it would be oversized, a little bit longer. It's a little bit over my bottom, I'm sorry. It's warm, but when I would have the ribbing right here, it would be a little bit more flattering, maybe. But then the sleeve will be on the white side, so all the decisions, yeah. Yeah, I think it's better to have it longer because it's in balance. Yeah, I had the problem with this sweater, which was also out of balance. I didn't do anything since I shared it in the podcast. I wanted to add length because it's too wide and too short. And I think when I would do that with this one, it would also be too wide and too short. So yeah, I think this will be a warm, nice, big throw-over cardigan you can wear over a sweater. I wear those cardigans most of the time open-fronted, over dresses, over skirts, and also my girls can wear them. They hang over chairs in the living room, and most of the time it's quite cold during the day in our house in winter, so it's nice to have a throw-over cardigan. And in the evening we put on the fireplace and then it warms up and you can put out the cardigan. But yeah, so I think we will leave it this way. I can just knit another one, which will be a little bit more flattering, shorter. Yeah, but the shoulders are good. Yeah, the shoulders are okay. It's quite deep right here. I think I need to remember it when I want to make a cardigan or a sweater with a round yoke, that I need to go for a little bit more of an oversized look. That it's better. The sleeves are quite easy to adjust, of course. But when it's a little bit more oversized, I don't have the problem with the shoulders. Yeah. And I received an email from another Dutch viewer this morning. I didn't reply yet, but she was telling something about, again, Andrea Mowry telling in her podcast about adding short rows for broader shoulders. I didn't watch, but yeah, maybe she has a solution. But I think I'm pretty happy with this one. I can always tuck it in my skirt, so yeah. Oh, I am doubting, but I don't want to frog it because then I do need to. No, we will make a long cardigan. Yeah. It's so interesting because every few weeks I have such a doubting phase that I don't know exactly what to do, and normally I'm pretty good in feeling which way I want to go, what I need to do to get something how I want it, and I'm pretty sure about it, and I don't have doubts at all. But every few weeks there is a week or a few days that it's better to not make decisions because I don't know. And I think because it's returning every few weeks, I think I'm under influence by hormones at that moment. And yeah, I think I know now. Don't make decisions. Next week you will now know. So yeah, I think that's okay as well. I have one object that I want to share with you today. It is my Bits and Bobs blankets. It is my advent calendar from 2024. It is, oh no, I'm in the middle of a row. Ah, I didn't know, I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of a row. Oh yeah, here it is. I can't show you, this is okay. You can see me as well. This is the Bits and Bobs blanket by K.F. Jones, and I really love this pattern. My advent calendar is dyed by Het Wol-based. Alexandra is the name of the Dutch dyer, and it was an autumn inspired advent calendar, and I love those colors. And I am knitting it together with, again, Dundaga yarn. I bought quite a batch last year in March, so I'm knitting. It always takes some time before I start knitting with yarn. After it doesn't happen very often that I knit with it immediately. But apparently I'm in my Dundaga time right now. So this is an undyed. It's a very rustic yarn, and yeah, I love the marled look. I don't know if I would do it again with an advent calendar, because the thing is that, yeah, of course the color is influenced by the main color, the white one. And I think that's perfect for very scrappy blankets, but for this one, advent calendars can shine. I still like it, but yeah, I don't know if I would do it again. I love the pattern. Every now and then I make small mistakes, but it's okay. And I knitted 16 colors right now, so I'm at 2/3 of the blanket. I have 8 minis left, and they have an interesting color. I don't know in which order, but as you can see, they are quite purple. I'm not a purple lover. So I was a little bit, when I saw those, I expected more brown and orange and yellow, but not really purple. And I think the shades of purple are very lovely. What is this? Oh, it's a stitch marker. Good. The purples of the shades of purple are really beautiful, but it's just not my color. But I think it will be an interesting change of color anyway. So I will cake up those mini skeins, those 8. I labeled them, so I do remember the order. Day 22. And then I really hope I manage to knit this blanket to finish it before it gets too warm to work with rustic yarn. And again, it will be the perfect blanket for in the camper van, for chilly camping mornings and evenings. I really would love to finish it. I work on this project every morning. I start my day with some things I need to do anyway, making breakfast, walking with the dog and all those things, and then I make a cup of coffee, and then I knit for, I think I knit for an hour. I always say for 30 minutes, but don't believe me, I knit longer before I start the rest of my day. So yeah, I hope I can manage to finish this pretty quickly. Okay, this was it for today. There is much more happening on my needles, but yeah, it's always interesting to pick a few, and I don't want these episodes to be too long. I wish you a wonderful week. I hope you will have a lot of heart jumping moments. If you can't find them, create them, because we need them. Bye bye!